freed up email traffic for these documents there instead of through email.
Okay, great.
That's great. Anything we can do to free up email, I'm all for it.
How about peer editing? Just entertaining some ideas of how to peer edit without paper. Is that even possible?
Oh, I love that idea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And then I want to talk about some of the things that I did to research to get ready for this. So what I'm also, just to let everybody know, we also are recording this session so that we have it for those people that want to come back and collect some more ideas. So I'm now sharing my screen, and now you should be seeing my screen. Is that true?
Yes.
Yay! All right. You always hope this works, but you never know. Okay. One thing that I spent time on today looking at was Turnitin.com. Are any of you using Turnitin yet?
Yeah, the language teachers have some in the past, but not right now.
Okay. Well, I went through a couple of things today, and Turnitin.com. And Turnitin.com has been around for a really long time, and really looking at making sure that our students are not plagiarizing and what percent of the content is from somewhere else and was it cited correctly. But I actually went through their tutorials today, and there's some great things on here. They actually will guide you through how to go ahead and set something up. Basically, it's like Edmodo in the way that you set up your assignment. When you set up the assignment, you set it up as a peer editing. What do they call it? Okay, hold on. I just did it a few minutes ago, where you can go ahead and peer edit, and that way you set up the assignment. You give due dates, just like in Edmodo. But then what happens is each student gets matched up with another student, and then they can go ahead and peer edit right within the Turnitin.com environment, which I thought was really cool. So you didn't have to go to like a different environment, like a Google Doc or something like that. So I thought that was very interesting. The other thing I learned a lot about in Turnitin.com was their grade mark. Grade mark is where you can comment to student. Well, see, I'm thinking the students can also do the same thing. But a student turns in their assignment on Turnitin.com, and then you can come in here and grade the assignment. And that's called grade mark. And so I played a little in this, and so just kind of visually, can you see that okay on the screen?
Yes.
Great. Thanks. Just don't let me wander. If you can't see anything, stop me. But what you do, this is an interactive tutorial that I had a chance to play with that guides you through how to mark a paper, so to say. And one basic way is to take and just drag over a comment somewhere, and then it gives you the box, great work, whatever you want to say, and then you can go ahead and save it. And the comment, can you see it's kind of looks like a little ghost there over that segment of the student writing. When you mouse over it, there's your message. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. And the other thing you can do is drag and drop. And so you just drag from over to the right. These are common ones. But then in addition to drag and drop, you can also edit that. So you can go ahead, so take kind of the citation needed, but then you can go into more depth so you can specifically talk about those things. So I thought that was really a handy, nice little way to do it. And again, we don't have to be out in Word. It doesn't matter what program we're in because we're actually in the Turnitin environment, which was really neat. So you can comment, you can highlight. Here, I think this is the way I learned it. You highlight it, and then you can drag one of the things, and I think it links to where you highlighted, if I remember correctly. And then again, you can always personalize that message. And comments, you can go ahead and do that. The highlighting. The only thing I did not see in here, strike through you can do. And then the rubrics were really interesting to grade the paper. You click on the icon. I can't remember the icon. It's toward the bottom, I think. And then you can apply a rubric, different percentages, and so on and so forth. I thought that was nice. There's some zoom in. There's some zoom out. The one feature we're not going to use is print a paper copy. I love right next to that message it says inactive. Well, if it's paper, it's inactive. So some really interesting things. Then when your student opens up their paper, then you get, turn it back to them. And when they open it up, all your comments are embedded right within their document. Any questions on that? Thoughts on that?
Meg,
Yeah.
do you have a hands-free microphone next to your chin?
No.
Okay. Your sound keeps cutting in and out, and I'm wondering if the volume is being it's too loud or something like that.
Let me turn my volume down and then let me know. Okay. How's that sound? Okay, well, just keep me posted. That's one of the wonderful, wonderful things about working with technology, right? So I will tell you, I was pleasantly surprised today when I came in and worked with Turnitin.com. They've made some huge improvements. And so I was very pleased when I played with this. And this tutorial, Katie sent to me, so I'm sure Katie can grab the link. Hold on. Actually, let me grab the link. I can grab the link and paste it right within Skype. And that's one of the nice features in Skype is I can go ahead and send something right away like that. Okay, so that was really nice, but very, very pleased with Turnitin.com. So yay! It's always good. All right, before I go into some of the other things, does anyone else have any questions?
I've got a question on the Turnitin.com.
Mm-hmm.
You said that there's a peer editing feature.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to work with a curriculum this year where after the student completes their paper, they have to go through and double check and mark on their paper that they have done certain things in their writing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way for students to be able to kind of go in as kind of like a peer editing, but it's not exactly where they're going to go in and do their own?
Yes, there is. And now you can see how many tabs I've been opening. It was a busy day today. There is in Turnitin, in the peer mark, and I just don't know how to get back there visually to show you. But one of the things you can do is put in guiding questions. And so they had like a whole menu of guiding questions that you could pick from, or you could put in your own. Is that kind of what you're thinking? So have them, is your topic sentence good? Do you have details? Is that what you're thinking?
Kind of like that, where they have to actually mark on their paper, like underline things and circle things and put a little note to the side and label things that they've done. Is there that type of feature in Turnitin.com where they can put to their own paper?
I don't know. Let me research and I will get back to Katie on that. Yeah, I don't know. The one piece I did find was that comment piece, to kind of focus the students, but I would have to look a little deeper, and I didn't get to see it. And for some reason, their tutorials are set up. I think they're set up, this grade mark one is set up as an interactive one, and the other one was just like that I could watch. So they must be two different types of demos. And I don't know how to get back to the peer mark one because you can see I get a warning every time I go near there. That it's not in the tutorial mode. So let me research and I'll get back to Katie on that. Is that okay?
Yep, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else?
Could you just take one of the comment bars and move it and edit it to do what she wants?
So you're saying like a writing checklist. You want them to check and make sure they've done all those things.
Right.
And show you before they do.
Right.
And I think you can, because I know what happens is when you're doing peer editing, you can decide how many papers do you want the student to check. And you can choose one or two. So we'll say one. And then underneath it'll say, can they choose their own? How many do you want to choose? You might say 0, or you might say they can choose 1. And then the third option is, do you want them to check their own? And then you can say yes or no. So you can say yes there. Then the next step is, what questions do you want to ask? And it can be, they have to answer with a short response, or it can be a rating scale. So like, this paper is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, whether or not you can actually
Underline things.
like if you can say, this is my
I use
detail.
transitions. So
Yeah.
did I have an effective
I
topic?
think they might be able to, but I'm not 100% on that part.
But you could ask them if they use topic in any sentences, or did they have
Unless it's actually like
or
market.
go find
Yeah.
Well, and what she was doing with the click on a certain word, and then you highlight comes up, you can say topic sentence.
Right.
They can label their own topic sentence with those little blue squares.
Yeah, they can
Right.
as long as they make their own and find
I don't know whether they can edit.
I think they can edit. I think so. But, well, maybe, well, I didn't identify myself as a teacher, so I think I would probably be able to do the same thing a student could do. So then you're right, they could just drag the comment and say, okay, here's my topic sentence, here's my supporting details, that kind of thing. I think that would work. Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Okay, we got the initiative BYOD this year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you have allowed the kids to use their own devices for a number of things. Can you give Meg kind of a progress report on how that's going, or some issues that could use some help with? Is it going well?
Actually, I think it's going pretty well. The kids are, they're using it appropriately, and so I've been happy with that. But occasionally I have to take something away, but it's not very often.
Okay, we don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So they don't want to lose their devices, so they're going to comply with the guidelines and the rules. I know the high school has had a few issues, a little bit, but here in the junior high so far, we're not facing huge hurdles of trouble. Is it true? Okay.
That's
Do you have a feeling that it's troublesome that you're feeling they have and have not? Or do you try to bring in mobile apps to complement? What's going on there? I guess. You say yes.
I had just a little bit of trouble one day where we did a pretest and I told the kids, when you finish, you can do this, and among the things I named off, I told them that if they had their own device with a game on it, I'd allow them to play the game, but they were not allowed to chat or use any social networking, no texting, anything like that. And one of the kids made a comment of, hey, I don't have one, and another kid wasn't really nice about it. But well, then go get one or something. Okay. So there was a little bit that the kids were like that one day.
So it wasn't a part of the lesson. No, it was something that they could work on after.
It was an option.
Right. Aaron, you ran into a challenge. This would be a choir teacher who, go ahead, you explain. When it turned into a study hall.
Oh, I was working with kids individually, so sometimes I would bring them in small groups and I said, listen, last minute of class, if you can hear these kids, if you bring homework, that's fine, you can do it. And one young man just brought his iPad, and then when I looked, he wasn't doing homework on his iPad. I mean, that is so hard to manage.
Her group would be close to 100 kids at a time.
Well, that was maybe 65, yeah. So it's hard to not,
yeah.
You need to be able to kind of listen to a few of them at a time. So I don't do that very often, but I really can't do it too much.
Yeah, that's true. Can you give me a sense of those of you that are using the devices? Are you using them like calculators? Are you doing polling? Are they creating documents? What kinds of things are you doing with the devices?
Calculators and math.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear that. I'm sorry about math.
They're good calculators on good calculator graphing or scientific calculator apps on most of the devices, so they just use those.
Yeah, there's some great ones, aren't they? Good. What else?
They've been using their phones to get on dictionary.com for stems and words.
Good. Excellent. And I want to show you a couple of apps that I think that you could pass on to students. It might be a fun way to do some vocabulary and do some other working with words kind of stuff. So problems, of course, we're expecting any damage, any theft, anything like that?
I do not know of any. Nobody's reported a theft.
To the students' devices or damage. We've had damage to our devices.
Right. So the school device, we've had a laptop with a screen that was damaged to the point we cannot repair it.
Yeah, that is going to happen. Actually, it was interesting. I was in a school last Friday, and I was a little shocked that 3 or 4 teachers had shattered iPads the screen had shattered, and they were still usable. They were still there, like, yeah, it's ugly, but it works fine. I was like, wow. And in that school, they did not issue cases. Everybody got to pick their own case. And in both the couple that I saw, they said, yeah, I had it out of the case and I dropped it. So that is going to happen. So let's get any other questions, hold on to them, and we'll come back. So what I've done for you is I have pulled together some PowerPoint slides, and we'll just go as far as we'd like to go. And we're going to capture this, so that's why I made sure I made a title slide, because we are going to be saving this, and you can go back if somebody's missing. I wanted to talk to you. I want to start with Edmodo. And I have uploaded, today I uploaded, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 videos, real short videos. I think the longest one is 6 minutes on how to do a variety of different things. So I want to walk through where those are in Edmodo. And so Katie, you're going to have to redirect me if I put them in the wrong place. I put them on our tech page. Is that where you want them?
Yes, that's right. I'm going to have to join the tech group. I haven't joined it before, I guess. Okay. No, these are good questions. You see where it says join?
Yep, sorry.
I'm all in.
Okay. Did you see join on the left-hand side?
Join. Oh, rocket. Got it.
Now, once you do that join, does tech appear as one of your choices?
You might not have joined it yet. Yep, and the code for tech is 2O, lowercase 5, A, F, C. All lowercase. 2O, 5, 8, F, C. And that group is going to be more broad. Like I've created an Edmodo group, which will be specifically about Edmodo. I've done a Promethean, a Skyward, and a Smart Board group as well. So they're all specific to those topics. But tech is where it's like all, everything.
It's always been 0 or always been O.
Doug is joined, Marina's joined.
Oh, good. So you're going live, Katie, so you can see it? Because that's a screenshot that I did earlier. So let me refresh. And so we started today. We started with 15 members. So as I refresh, we'll see how we do. I just wanted to make sure, yay, we're at 18. So we're growing. So I'm live, and I put these, and Katie, as we grow and we're learning the best way to do this, for right now, I put everything right on kind of the opening page, all the videos. But I did notice after I did that is we had made a folder over to the right for professional development videos. So Katie and I, we might keep them in both places. We're just not sure at this moment. So feel free to join Edmodo, but I really want to talk about this whole concept of teaching without paper. We just have to think about every time we go to design a project for students, what's one way that we could do this keep everything digital instead of having the paper. So let's think about that as we go through. So what I wanted to do is I wanted not just to put the resources on there, but I wanted to give you a heads up of what those resources are. And so let me go ahead and show you. So this is our Edmodo environment, and I really, really encourage you to jump in and try it. Well, the first video I made for you was on Tag Zito. And I remember some of you had used this. Tag Zito does not work on your iPad, so don't try that because it does need flash. But what Tag Zito does is it lets you create word clouds and then you could put the picture. So you could actually upload a picture, or you can select from one of their pictures. And these word clouds are interactive in a way that, as long as you're on Tag Zito, when you mouse over the words, they pop up. They pop out and are bold and so on and so forth. These are screenshots, so that's why they're not going to pop up. But you pick your shape, and then you go ahead, and there's all different shapes that you can pick from, as well as upload your own. But as I made this video for you, it's short, but as I made this video, I've probably been using Tag Zito for 4 or 5 years. I learned a whole lot of new things as I explored. So there are a lot in there. The one piece I do want to point out on this screen slide, see right underneath where it says Tag Zito?
Overachiever over here wants to listen to
like, why? That sounds like me. Well, thank you for using them. Oh, too funny. Okay, what is a little not user-friendly, if I talk to the Tagxito people, is right underneath where it says Tagxito, there's a word load. That's actually where you load in what you type, what you want to be in a tag cloud. And so I strongly encourage you, if it's a long piece that you want students to type in, have them type it in a word processing document and then copy and paste it in here. Because the minute you hit create, you can't go back. And that can be very frustrating if you do all your composing there. Now, as you look at this document, you can see Meg is larger. That's because I repeated it a number of times to make it pop out like that. So very cool in your interactive whiteboards. This is my pick to click. This I love. This is Pixie Me. Now, we won't spend a lot of time here because I know you're not just all iPads, but there's Pixie Me for your iPhone, and there's Pixie Me Plus for your iPad. So I'll go kind of fast through here because some of you don't have those tools, but I want you to get the concept of it. I call these generators. You put the word in, and then it generates the image based on whatever I selected. I know that looks yummy at this time of day. We shouldn't look at that. And so I put in, go work with words, and then it goes and puts it into the different backgrounds. So it generates that. Here it paints on the field for me, and you got to be short and sweet. There's only so many characters you can use. Great for working with vocabulary. It's just another way to go ahead and work with words. And there's a little seasonal flash forward for us. And there's our last one. So there's tons. I got today a notification of 3 or 4 more for Halloween tomorrow. And so if you have an iPhone or an iPad, download it. iPad, it's $1.99. iPhone, free. Symbaloo! Now, we played with Symbaloo when we were together, but I wanted to remind you that you might have forgotten about your Symbaloos. And to go ahead back there, they've done some nice upgrades to Symbaloo since I've been with you face to face, and they've made it quite a bit easier to add the tiles. So Symbaloo, don't forget, you make your own web mixes. And I will tell you, if any of you are math or science, I had a math teacher last week that put in, I think he put geometry high school. He found incredible Symbaloos that were already populated, filled with incredible resources. And he spent some time looking at them. And he's like, I've never seen this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it was really neat. You got to remember that you can search on web mixes and you can find other people's Symbaloos. I found a whole bunch on the best iPad apps, which is really cool. So I've been playing with that. Now, we'll go through this quickly, but I was so excited. About 3 weeks ago, I found out how to project from my iPad without being connected to the projector through the little cable. And so there's 3 ways to do it right now. One is reflection. Just learned Air Server today. Those are both $15 each, the app. But what's cool about this is then I can walk around. All right, let's try it again. All right. Can you hear me? Okay, let's try it. I tried to make sure my wireless was not conflicting with my hardwired. So let's see. Just interrupt me and tell me if it's still going in and out. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again, and we'll just jump through. There's Symbaloo. Okay, so what you couldn't hear me say was Kik. It's an app that also talks to the Quick website. They say Quick. Phonetically, I don't know what it is. But what's cool about this is the app on your phone then in real time can push out video. So that's really neat. So it also not only pushes the video out to the website, it also can save it on the website, which is really neat. In case you have to miss somebody's event, you can still document it. There it is. I thought this was hilarious. I had to include this picture. Keep an eye on the cookie jar with remote watching. I thought that was interesting. All right, Haiku Deck. This is making beautiful presentations. I just did a Common Core and math presentation. I did all my slides this way. And really rich images and very limited text. So it really makes you focus. But the nice part is every image in the collection is licensed under Creative Commons, so you're not violating any copyright issues at all. So Haiku Deck, again, that's just iPad. So we'll just do it real quick, just to let you know it's out there. With the, it'll be interesting to see what happens with your BYOT after Christmas, because this week alone, I don't know how many tablets were released, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Now again, all of these videos, we have them on Edmodo. It is my goal and mission to produce at least one of these a week. I'm trying to do 2 or 3, and then we will be adding them to Edmodo. But we really wanted to take the time to make sure that everybody knew how to get there. So Katie, does everybody have access? Everybody has access to Edmodo in the tech, right? Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so let's just try to make that our thing. Now I'm working on the write-up, Katie. I'll get that to you later today. But I did want all of you, I know how busy and crazy your life gets, but I want you to try to reserve the dates if you can for June 3rd through 7th. I know that sounds like a million miles away, but we're going to be doing Tech Camp right there in your school district. And what that is that's all captured time for you to create, build, get everything set up, lay out your year, design projects, make movies, do everything, screencast, podcast. It's everything we kind of started doing and will be doing throughout the year, but it will give you lots of time to lay out your year. And you want to make sure that you customize it to exactly what you want. So we wanted to plant the seed with you today to first save the dates if you want to come to Tech Camp. But second is to start to be thinking about, hey, I really want to build that during Tech Camp. I want to be thinking about that. Because what's great about this is it gives you the time to do it. We know with teaching, we always say, oh, I'll get it done in the summer. This is the time to do it. So we wanted to just kind of tease you a little bit about some of the cool things that you'll be learning in Tech Camp. But I think the most important thing is it's the time to make it happen. Questions? Tech Camp. Quiet. You guys are making me nervous. I'm doing an experiment to see if using really cool pictures in the background actually relax my audience. So it seems to be working. All right. I have a couple more things I want to share with you. And look at that's coming out of Haiku Deck. See how pretty that is? And Khan Academy, some of you started thinking about using it. But one thing, when I was thinking about getting ready for today and thinking about no paper, let's skip the paper. You know, my math people are always like, you've got to do it on paper. Well, I just want to remind you about the Khan Academy and the practice feature within the Khan Academy. The practice gives you an unlimited number of problems that students can solve. Now, in the Khan Academy, forget the paper, there actually is a place that you can, like a whiteboard that you can interact. The only problem with it, if students are on a keypad or a mouse, it gets very awkward. You know, so that is an issue. But so that's there for them to do their scratch if you want them to show their work. But they go ahead and answer, and once they answer 10 in a row, they are considered proficient. And that's really neat. And then if they select you as your coach, you can see how many minutes they spent on it and so on. A lot of people are starting to use this for RTI, for enrichment, to help students that need to see it a variety of ways. I like it because it gives immediate feedback to students. And if they get stuck there, you can watch another video. They give you a hint. So real strong in math and science. But when I was thinking about the paperless world, this is perfect because it doesn't matter what device you get to. It doesn't matter at all. As long as you have a device and you can get to the internet and get to the Khan Academy, you can go ahead and do the practice problems. So I thought that was really neat to think about. I also had a math teacher last week, and what he does is when he makes his study guides, what he's doing is he's screencasting. You know, he's capturing what's on his screen and then he's posting it to his website. And he screencasts his lessons, but then when he made a study guide for the end of the unit, he would use the QR code for students to get right back to that exact video. So on his study guide, it was really neat. It was real basic. It was on paper. But what it was, well, it wasn't on paper. It was a Word document that he handed out through Edmodo. So it really was no paper involved. But he showed it to me on paper. It was a question. And then over to the right, if you need help, then he had a QR code that took him directly to the lesson on how to go ahead and do that problem. So I thought that was really a great way to use a QR code. And I tend to use whatever QR code. When I Google, I put in QR code generator. Whichever one comes up is the one that I use. This one is actually called Deliver. If you see that right in the middle in the URL, it's actually called DELIVR.com. So to make a QR code, but you can make them anywhere. And QR codes, does anyone have any questions about a QR code? Is anybody using QR codes yet?
Yes, we can't hear you. You're cutting in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is anyone using QR codes yet? All right. You what?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's one thing we might want to put kind of on our agenda to be thinking about, because it's a great way to direct students directly to, especially if you're taking into somewhere like the Khan Academy that has so many resources, that QR code is going to get you just to the specific target. Okay, and this is just for fun because you all need some fun. And Photobabble, you upload an image and then you can record a message behind the image. Only use this for good and not evil, everybody. And so I made one about Abe. You pick your background and then it's saved on the Photobabble, or you can share it out away from the website. All right. So those are just a few of my pick to clicks for our time together. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sorry about the audio cutting in and out. We'll work on that for next time.
Anybody have any questions? Special needs? We have special needs. Okay.
All right. Give us some sense, and we'll ask you again. But is there anything that you would like? I'm going to be making a series of videos. Is there any video that you would love me to make in the next month or so?
We'll Edmodo it to you or email you. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Like there's anything specific.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking of doing one for turnitin.com, so you have that. But let me know if there's anything else. Edmodo me or something.